In the events of Revenge of the Sith, after the infamous fight between Palpatine and Mace Windu, Mace corners Palpatine and attempts to kill him in the hopes of ending any possible reign of Palpatine and the Sith. But in the movie, Anakin interjects and cuts off Mace's hand before Palpatine shoots a bolt of Force lightning at Mace Windu, throwing him out the window and killing him. But today I want to ask a really interesting question. That being, was Mace in the right? And did he have the right idea in attempting to kill Palpatine? And looking at how the decision to kill Palpatine lines up with ethics and, of course, the Jedi way. Now, let's look at the scene from Revenge of the Sith.
I am going to end this once and for all.
You can't. He must stand trial.
He has control of the Senate and the courts. He's too dangerous to be left alive.
I'm too weak. Don't kill me, please.
It's not the Jedi way. He must live.
Please don't.
I need him.
Please don't. No!
So there's a lot of things you can pull from this clip. First of all, Anakin says he has to stand trial. He needs to be tried for his crimes in a court of law, which makes a lot of sense until Mace points out something very truthful, and that is that he has control of the courts and the Senate. And the fact of the matter is, the Senate has continuously voted in Palpatine for far longer than a chancellor should be in power for. And the reason for this is because they love Palpatine, not because he's a good leader, but rather because he is extremely manipulative. He can manipulate anyone. I mean, heck, he manipulated Anakin into becoming Darth Vader. And so he is able to manipulate and to persuade the Senate into loving him. So if they brought Palpatine into a court of law, he could influence them immediately to allow him to basically, claim that the Jedi are taking over, or that he's innocent, or do whatever he wants. The possibility for there to actually be justice, for him to actually be held responsible for his crimes, is very unlikely, and it would all just backfire. And then if the Jedi decided to kill him anyway, if they could successfully do that, then the whole Senate would just turn against them anyway. So it really doesn't work out that well in their favor. Now the second thing, and this is what Anakin says, is he says, it's not the Jedi way. Well, the question is it the Jedi way to kill a person? Because we know Anakin's done that a lot, both on the Clone Wars show, in the beginning of Revenge of the Sith, when he kills Count Dooku, and of course, in the opening of Revenge of the Sith, when he kills Dooku, it's kind of frowned upon, especially by him. He feels that it was the wrong thing to do. And I think that's because I was thinking about it. Obi-Wan did kill, he didn't technically kill him, but as far as he was concerned, he killed Darth Maul. But I think the key difference is that Darth Maul was attacking him, and the only way for him to save himself and to end the danger that was Darth Maul was to kill him. But with Dooku, he's able to capture him. Anakin's able to hold him, as a prisoner, and be in full control of him, but he chooses to kill him, even though he really could bring him in for questioning, bring him in to a court, or have him arrested. There was no reason he had to kill him. That's my kind of distinction, I think. Or Obi-Wan's just racist against Dathomirians. Who knows? But Palpatine is at the disposal of Mace. Or that's a debate. Some people think that, Mace was in control. Some people think that Palpatine was just toying with him. But it seems like, as far as Mace is concerned, he has Palpatine at his disposal. So there's the question of, is it, the Jedi way? Now, if we take from Count Dooku, and, Count Dooku was also at Anakin's disposal, he didn't have to kill him, right? But with Palpatine, some could say it's the same thing, because he has him at his disposal. But admittedly, Palpatine is a lot more powerful than Count Dooku, and a lot more dangerous because of the influence and power and control over the Senate that he has. So some people would argue that it is the Jedi way, because one life is going to save the whole Jedi Order and, the state of the galaxy and the stopping the Empire. So, regardless of if it is or is not the Jedi way, I would say that the outcome of what was going to happen is a lot more prevalent and important than just it's not right because he killed someone. Now the final question I want to ask is, how would this affect Anakin? How would the killing of Palpatine affect Anakin and his fall to the dark side? And this is a very, very interesting question, because for the longest time, the only person that Anakin's really been able to talk to is Palpatine. He holds him very dear as a good, dear friend, and so you know, in this movie, he's already aware that he is a Sith Lord. And he really only joins Palpatine because he's desperate to save Padme. He believes that Palpatine is his last hope in saving Padme. For Anakin, for Palpatine to be killed, that would freak him out. Now, I think, would he still turn to the dark side? Maybe. I think it's not dependent on Palpatine, but how the Jedi act after this. If they continue to push him into a corner and do what they do for the prequels, then absolutely he's going to turn to the dark side, he's going to break. But I think if the Jedi, specifically Obi-Wan, knowing full well that Palpatine was just killed and that he was a Sith Lord, and that Anakin was very, very close with Palpatine, because they do know that, and they treat it and they think about the possibility that, oh, he may have been toying with Anakin, that Palpatine may have been, you know, toying with his mind, and they think about it and they act carefully and in a correct way, then I think they could prevent him from going to the dark side, especially since he hasn't done these horrible things of destroying the Jedi Temple. And so for Padme, she's not going to be freaked out by what he's done. He's not going to push her away because, you know, he hasn't descended that far yet. And so I think there is definitely a possibility for his fall and descent to the dark side to be prevented, and for there to be a quote-unquote, you know, happy ending for Anakin. I don't think Anakin falling to the dark side is being determined by if Palpatine is killed, but rather how the Jedi deal with that with Anakin after they kill Palpatine. So overall, I personally think that Mace was in the right to try and kill Palpatine. I think it would have been much better for the galaxy. I think it would have, you know, possibly still turned Anakin to the dark side, but I mean, that was going to happen either way. But if they do it correctly, then they could prevent him from going to the dark side. And I think that if they tried to bring him into a court of law, it would not have worked in their favor at all. So if done correctly, if dealt with well afterwards, and if being thoughtful about it, and hopefully this does, you know, wake them up afterwards if they were to do that, then I think full well that killing Palpatine was probably the best choice for stopping this horror that was going to be the Empire. But let me know down in the comments below what you guys think of this. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I want to know what you guys think about, you know, do you think he was in the right to try and kill Palpatine? Do you agree with my opinions? Let me know down in the comments below, and I will see you all very, very soon. May the Force be with you.